Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Pod of War Gamescast. I am your incredibly warm and sweaty host, AUF Gizmo, joined this week by the man in the dark. It's Mr. Craig Warren.
I'm also warm and sweaty.
Hence the darkness. And of course, the man who just likes to infuriate the group chat is, of course, Massive Das, Chris Pengilly.
Hello everyone.
Luckily, there is not currently a way for me to display our group chat in this video, so you can see the kind of shenanigans that me and Craig have to put up with on a nearly hourly basis, but that is a conversation for another day. So we're going to start with the rigmarole, like we do every week. We're going to start with what we bought, what we played. Let's start with Craigo.
So I've bought nothing, Davey. You'll be happy to hear.
So happy.
In terms of playing, it's been a lot of Game Pass recently. I've finished Lost in Random.
Recently?
Yeah. Which is actually quite a lengthy game. I think it was like 16 or 17 hours. And it really does feel like more of that old like AA game that you would see in like Game or Game Station back in the 360 era, in the glory days.
There was no games on the 360, Craig. You know this.
Yeah, exactly. But that would have been one of the few ones that were on the barren shelves, obviously. You saw those games and they were like 25, 30 quid. Yeah. And a lot of the time, because the internet wasn't as big back then, unless you were, hardcore like Penguins, you probably didn't even know what it was. It feels like one of those.
We call the THQ games now, right? That's the closest we have.
Exactly, yeah.
Embrace it or bring it back.
Exactly. Someone needs to. I enjoyed that. There's a lot of stuff with its premise, and really goes ill in that. It gets a bit dark in places as well, which is quite cool because you kind of just from seeing it from the art style, you think it wouldn't, but I definitely enjoyed that. And then I think the only other thing I've really played, other than obviously endless Forza Horizon 5. I'm up to 600 cars now, boys.
Jesus
I've got
Christ.
it covered. I've got it all covered. Every base. Anything you need, I got you, all right? Any class, car type. Yeah.
You're ready for that DLC?
I'm there, Dave. I've got you. Don't you worry.
And then he's got to use Hot Wheels cars.
Exactly.
It's like, okay.
So yeah, I played more of that. God knows how many hours I've pumped into that game at this point. Endless. Absolutely endless. And then the only other thing I played is, I'm not entirely sure how you say this. I'm going to say with Chorus. Chorus.
Yeah, I think it looks like a V, but it's actually a U.
Yeah. The way they style it is really confusing because the way they style it doesn't look like how you would write it. It's really, really odd. I think it's a game that Hengi played at some point.
Yeah.
It's like a futuristic sci-fi, like flying like combat game. And it's actually really, really good. It came to Game Pass last month, I want to say, maybe the month before. But it's really fun. Something that I would never, ever normally play. I would probably, never take the risk of buying something like this.
It's like you said, it's one of those sort of like, I thought it was really good. I did like a video on the channel and stuff of it. It's like you said, back in the day, it would have been one of those AA titles that you might have seen in the shop for like 25, 30 quid. Took a punt on, and like it works obviously like well for Game Pass, this type of game, I think now.
Yeah, I only played it or installed it because when it was announced, I wasn't really that excited for it. It wasn't something that I like immediately installed. But I was scrolling through like Twitter or something. I just saw someone must have put their like Xbox share clip up, and it just looked beautiful. They were just flying around. They had all the planets and the rings and the asteroids like floating in the background. I saw that like 5-second clip and was like, I kind of want to give that a go actually. Looks really pretty, really cool soundtrack. I have had a few like technical issues from where I'm guessing. I think it's quite a small team. I think it's maybe quite a new team as well. I'm going to assume because I've never heard of them. I had one where I've lost sound during cutscenes before, and I've had to like dashboard out and then reload the game. And I had a couple of crashes as well. But in fairness, they have a very kind of generous like checkpoint system and a autosave. So when it has crashed, it's actually put me fairly close to where I was. So I didn't lose a lot of progress, which is the main thing. I think it has 3 different modes now. I don't know if it always has since launch.
Yeah.
There's like ray tracing, which is like ray tracing and like looks 4K, I'm assuming, and looks beautiful. Then there's like a quality mode, which I'm guessing is the middle mode, and then there's performance, which is frame rate, which is what I'm playing on at the moment.
Yeah, I
Um,
played it in. No, I played it on PlayStation. Played it in the middle one because I started with the ray tracing 4K, and if you stood, still, it looks fantastic. And then as soon as you started moving your ship, I was like, oh, good God, this frame rate. So I played it in the middle one of the thing because it does look great, sort of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the combat is like exceptionally good as well. You start off and you've only got your like Gatling gun on your ship, so it feels kind of fairly bland to start with. But at this point, I'm not that far in either. I don't think I've already got like Gatling gun, laser, missiles. I've got all sorts of like really cool abilities where I can like essentially like drift around corners. So I can like crab around the corner and shoot at the same time to make like quite maneuverable. And I've also got like a blink ability where if I'm like following or if I'm like aiming at a enemy ship quite far away, if I press B, I like instantly teleport to it behind it, which makes it really like snappy, cool combat. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that at the moment. Seems to have quite a lot of like side missions, quite a lot of side content in as well, which I've
I
been doing.
even did quite a lot of the side content in it. I think it was like even doing side content in the main story. I think I put like 25 hours or something on it about like booting up a PlayStation or something and looking like the playtime on it. So it's quite a chunky game. I think I'm only was missing like 4 or 5 trophies as well from the platinum. So
Yeah, it looks like I haven't.
it says very doable 1000G if you
Yeah, I
wanted
haven't
to.
investigated the achievements too much, but it definitely looks like a lot of it is just tied to doing side quests,
Mm.
using the abilities and stuff like that, which is that's always good. So yeah, kind of very surprised at how much I'm enjoying that game so far, definitely. And
Hell yeah.
that's it from me.
Not a bad couple of weeks then for Big Sexy Craig. Obviously,
Yeah, definitely.
we're almost in Game Pass season, which is when Craig
It's
truly
always Game
strikes.
Pass season, Dave. It's always Game Pass
Of
season.
course, every day. Well, before we get to Chris and his inevitable 6-hour rant about PS1 games he's bought, I've had an interesting couple of weeks. Obviously, I've been in Greece for a week since our last podcast, been about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if I mentioned this on the last podcast because I feel like I recorded it like as I was flying. But I finished Uncharted Lost Legacy on the PS4. I can't remember if I mentioned that last week or not. Finally,
Yeah, I think you did
I think I
briefly.
did, but really enjoyed that. Got through it, and then in a very curious turn of events, while I was on holiday, I got an email saying that I'd won a competition. And I vaguely remember entering this competition. This is when you do the thing, you upgrade your phone, it goes, do you want to enter? Do you want to be in our prize draw? You go, yeah, go on then. You're never going to win anything, do you? So, but I did win something, boys, and what I won was a PlayStation 5. Which is very strange. It's a very strange, almost like higher power has decided that PlayStation gets a second chance. You know what I mean? Very strange. So I did come home to a PlayStation. I was like, I still wasn't convinced. And then when I walked in and there was just a PS5 on a box on the floor, I was like, I want a PS5. So what I've been doing is playing a lot of PlayStation 5. Like a lot. So first of all, I finished and platinumed Ape Escape, which is the new PlayStation Plus, is what I've been utilising for a lot of backlog recently. They've put some PS1 games up and I have trophies, and so I decided to do that. I did it 100%, got everything, all the monkeys, all the Spectre coins, beat all the bosses, beat the extra boss. It took me about 7.5 hours. Really fun game. If I played this game fully back in the day on PS1, it's probably one of my favourite games ever because it's just fun. It kind of holds up. Like the controls are a bit weird. Like you jump with R1 and everything is on the right stick because it was one of those. Here's the DualShock, so you got to use the DualShock stuff. But yeah, really fun game. It's weird to me that there's a PS4 and a PS5 version. I don't understand because it's the same, and I don't understand why. Because of that, you can't use the PS4 controller on the PS5 version. So if you've started on the PS5, which is a problem I'm going to talk about in a minute, then it's a problem. But yeah, so if you're going to get,
I've got a mini rant a minute. This has no one has a relation to any of this. In work, doing the chart change on PlayStation is the most frustrating thing in the goddamn world because every single damn game has 2 versions. Madness, absolute madness.
and almost every PS4 box has on the front upgrade available as well, and a lot of the times it's free.
The only,
Bonkers.
obviously the collectors, but obviously the thing is, and like if you there's a Twitter thing called "Does It Play?" and I know, I think it's John on Digital Foundry is a big fan. Obviously, the PS5 games normally have the game on the disc. So, like Ghost of Tsushima, for instance, PS5 is the PS5 version on the disc. So, if PlayStation Network was down for 2 days or something, you would still be able to play that game. So, I think if you longevity, I think it's a good thing.
It's tough though, because what you're saying is this is going to sound meaner than it is. It's kind of bollocks, because every game has a day one patch, and
yeah, it does have a day one patch, but most of
I think
what they're using. They're using UHDs for PS5 discs.
I think what
where
they
they're
should be
using
doing
Blu-ray still on.
is the PS4 versions should have a reversible cover, right? So like a PS4 game there's also has the PS5 game for free that you don't have to like change anything on the disc. It's pretty much the same game. So if they were to box release these PS1 games, for example, just release one version with the reversible cover. That's all you need to do. But anyway, we could talk about the weird upgrade system for PlayStation for the rest of time. It's not going to get any more sensible.
And there's things like some weird positives. Like I know Elden Ring, the best version to play that is the PS4 version on the PS5.
Yeah, but it should. The problem is it shouldn't be. I think.
Yeah.
It should just be the best version.
It's a problem that
it's a problem that isn't on PC, and it's a problem that isn't on Xbox.
It's the best console version because you can select not to do the upgrade. It's like obviously the PS5 version should be running at 60 frames a second. That's what you should,
I would
From
say
Software should be doing that. But
I would say 90% of people that put that disc in their console don't just pick the PS5 version because they don't know any better.
It's like one of the games I played. The best console versions, the PS4 version on the PS5, but it's weird.
But yeah, very strange situation. It's just unnecessarily complicated. We can agree on that. So yeah, Ape Escape, I've been playing that. Before I got the platinum, I did a Pengi and I played an absolute trash 2-minute platinum that I had in my backlog just because I didn't want Ape Escape to be 30. This is all about balance, Craig. This was a game where you're a chicken and you hold R1 for 25 seconds and you get a platinum. Not proud of it, but
absolute filth, Dave.
You know what? But the thing is, it's balance. It's when you look at my platinum list, there are some actual games on there. It's not all Telltale games and cheap platinums. No shots fired at Chris, of course.
I have Spider-Man on my list.
So so have I, Chris, and I've got Horizon, and I've got
Ice. I got Severed. I've got the PS5.
You paid for the We'll get to that. So what else?
I don't understand that either. I know I'm destroying every year, Dave. I don't understand this whole transferring and getting a second platinum.
So what it is it's stupid and it doesn't make any sense.
I understand the concept of it, but it just blows my mind that that's a thing.
Yeah, it blows my mind. They designed the PS4 and PS5 in such a way that it doesn't understand that PS4 and PS5 can have the same list.
Yeah.
It's
weird, but then obviously you've got I follow PlayStation Trophy Hunter and stuff like that. They're all like, "This is amazing! I can get the
but it's
twice,
not amazing. It's not amazing for a good thing, though, Chris. It's amazing for a weird addiction. They're just you know what I mean. But anyway, the politics.
Getting 100 platinums, I can get now 200 platinums.
The politics of PlayStation platinums is beyond me today. So that's a video for another day. What was I even saying? But yeah, so I've jumped back into some games I haven't played in a while. I played some Miles Morales. I'm trying to go for the platinum. That requires a new game plus. That's why Chris hasn't got that. Joking. But so I'm going to do that, utilizing the PlayStation Plus. What else am I playing at the minute? I've got Horizon Forbidden West because it came with the console, so I will probably play that in time with Chris. I still feel weird, obviously I don't want to buy games this year, so it still feels weird even playing it. So it might even get left till the end of the year. I'm not sure yet, but it's installed anyway for now. I started Everybody's Golf on the PS1 version. On this is another one that is beat the game, you get the platinum, and my god, is it a hard game. All the trophies I've got are 2% trophies, because as you can imagine, Craig, it's a PS1 golf game, so it is unrelentingly brutal. It looks and plays very well, for the record, but it is hard. It gives you no mercy. They kill you, the CPU, but I'm about 40% through that actually as well, so that's been nailed. I've just started today Batman: The Enemy Within, which is season 2 of the Telltale Batman. I've had it in my backlog for what feels like half a decade. So far, it's really good, actually. Because the first season I thought was okay. It's a Telltale game. It's not as bad as Game of Thrones, but it's not as good as Tales of the Borderlands. But season 2 of this is very interesting. The story is somewhat different in these Batman games as well. They kind of go places that the show or other media don't usually go with Batman. Characters have already died that don't normally die in the comics and stuff, so that's quite interesting. I'm trying to think what else I've played, because I've actually played so many games, it's weird. Played some more Dirt 5 this morning. Got last bit of a DLC on the PS5 version to get, boys. So
Nice.
just working
That
my way through
DLC, I checked this the other day, is still so fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's not worth it either. Like if you can get that for under a tenner, like it's a lot of good content. But for
Oh,
anything
I'd
more
buy
than
it for a tenner, definitely.
Yeah, so it's in like 25, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it in a sale on PlayStation, and I think it was 12, which is probably right at the limit of what I was willing to pay. It's great DLC. I literally have the last one to do. Everything else I've done to pretty much 100%. You'll be shocked to hear because it's my favorite game. A favorite racing game, nearly favorite racing of all time. It and V Rally 3 have a conversation to have, But yeah, that's it so far. I've got Ghost of Tsushima installed, ready to go. Because that one's another game. I've got like a little mini list which I would love to show, which I did actually physically make on my laptop, but it's a pain in the ass to get other things up. But I have a games to beat, games to play kind of thing, because obviously I'm gunning for Chris's completion percentage on PlayStation, and I'm already over halfway there. Chris has got 35.61% completion percentage in 6,000 games, and mine is like, I think it's up to 34.8. So I'm catching him quickly, very quickly. So Chris will be knocked to one side with completion percentage very shortly.
You've got the real challenge of catching my my PlayStation percentage.
Yours is,
because as we all know,
it's probably quite high because you've only played like 8 games.
It is. I'm the real pony here, audience. It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
Well, I'm like low key turning into a pony at the minute. It kind of upsets myself, but I'm just enjoying playing on the console. My Xbox is here somewhere. I don't even think it's plugged in. I haven't played an Xbox game in months, so I don't know. That's another discussion. But trying to think what else to say. And then again, like more talk about the PS Plus system. It's getting its use at the minute, is what I'll say. It's getting its use. I don't think it has the longevity of the Game Pass stuff because just so much games launch into Game Pass. Obviously, we're going to get Stray next week, this week actually, and then we're going to get some more PS1, PSP games, and we'll see. And there's the rumored Final Fantasy VII Intergrade and all that good stuff. So, because at the minute I can't play Intergrade, Chris. Do you want me to tell you why I can't play Intergrade?
Because you only got the PlayStation Plus.
No. So this is one.
I missed this part of the show.
This is one for Craig. This is the best thing about me having a PS5. This is the best thing about me having a PS5. So originally, when they brought out Intergrade, if you own the PSP version, the PS Plus version of the PS4 version of the game, you cannot upgrade it.
Yeah, because Square Enix put out a thing saying that it's for customers that bought the game. Yeah. So yeah, this is
even though you've got the subscription, you've paid for that subscription. But anyway, regardless, they changed that policy, Craig, and you can indeed upgrade the PS Plus version. However, if at any point before this you have used another version of the game to upgrade, so for example, I had the disc version of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I used that to upgrade. It
already thinks you've done it.
So it already thinks I do it, and I cannot download it. I cannot even purchase it because it thinks I have the disc version. So if I download Intergrade in any way, it tells me that I don't own the disc version of the game. But I can't buy a digital version of the game at all because I've got the PS Plus version of the game. So if I wanted to actually play the PS5 version of Final Fantasy, now I'm hoping this gets fixed by this PS Plus update, because if it doesn't,
because you just download the PS5 version, I gather.
Yeah. So and the PS5 version will not let you touch it because there's two different distinct. You can activate it by having a disc. So when I try and download it, no matter what, it thinks I need the disc.
Yeah.
So I can't play it. Even though I've bought the DLC. So I've bought Intermission.
Yeah.
But I can't play that.
I know we're like the borderline of Chris throwing a tantrum because we can't say anything bad about it, but how is this a problem? Like,
it's ridiculous.
How?
And it's
mind-blowing.
The second PS Plus problem I've encountered this week with God of War, as I've talked about in our group chat. Downloaded God of War again via PS Plus. My save is not there. I went onto PS Plus to download my save. I can download my save, but my save is not compatible with the PlayStation Hits PS Plus version of God of War at all. So even though I've completed the game and I've got 31% of the trophies, I cannot use that save. I'd have to do a completely fresh save to play God of War.
It just shows how badly planned that is. That is a thing,
and it's bad anyway. But it just looks bad because everyone else has done a better job. Like even Nintendo has done a better job with like cloud saves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Steam, obviously, it's not even a thing. Xbox is not a thing. So it's like, God, PlayStation. And it's frustrating because, like I said, like, with the second chance that the PlayStation's had so far, I'm in love with the controller. I think the controller's unreal. Like, I'm really enjoying the system in general. Like, I think it's snappy, it's really quick. Like, the games look fantastic on my TV. Like, the HDR, like the Spider-Man now with that patch with the third mode that's ray tracing and 60 frames, but at 1080p is unreal. Like, it's an unreal looking game. But again, it's like all these little niggles, PlayStation, and they're not going to get fixed until the PS6. And they might not even get fixed then, but they're not going to get fixed in its lifetime. There's not going to be a patch. You know, it still annoys me I can't put my games in folders. I don't know why this is a thing that every console generation is apparently delaying. Like, I love just give me a little games folder. That's all I want, Chris.
Well, 5 years to get it on Switch.
5 years to get on Switch. They took it out with the PS. The PS4 can do it because my PS4 currently has folders. You know, Xbox had groups for a bit and they're kind of wank now. But the one thing, this is before I end my PlayStation 5 section. I sound like Chris talking for this long. There is one thing that PlayStation 5 does that Xbox used to do, Craig, but PlayStation do it better right now, and that is trophy tracking. The new trophy tracking system on the PS5, since the most recent version, is unreal. Like, it even drills down specifically into the DLC that you're playing. So like on Dirt 5, I did a race on the DLC. It knew I was doing the DLC. It brought all of my trophy tracking for the trophies I haven't got on the specific part of the DLC. It was like, hey, do you want me to put it in the corner? We can give you how far you're away from getting it. Here's some tips for how to get it if you don't know how to get it because of the game cards. It's like, if you can't get the score in Gymkhana, this is what we did. This is the car we recommend. Like, all stuff like this is like, that's unreal. Like, give me that on every console that has achievements and every system. Like, that on Xbox would be great.
You're right, because Xbox, like, some games do it, but some games it just does not work.
Because you used to have to snap every game, didn't you? Like, at the very launch of the Xbox One, and then it just didn't work as well. But like the PlayStation version, like, had credit to them, they've really improved that system, and it's really good now compared to what it was on launch. Which obviously we and Chris had PlayStations quite early on, but this most recent version they must have updated looks really good. So, my PlayStation goodness aside, Pengy, let's everyone get ready to have their nap now. Pengy, 40 minutes of telling me all the games you bought.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right. So before we bought, played. So last podcast I played 7 hours of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. I finished Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes with the Black Eagles, which is called Scarlet Blaze Route is what it's called. So Edelgard and all that. Just over 30 hours. I think more close to 35, like 34 point something. Really good. It does do that weird thing we talked about it because obviously Craig playing the demo where it condenses the first 7 chapters of the pre-game, the proper game into the prologue, and then jumps does the time skip and that. But then it's about a similar length of Free Houses, like my time Free Houses to Free Hopes, doing the same sort of route. The story, once you've done the prologue, even though you're playing as Shez instead of Byleth, and Byleth obviously is in this, story's pretty much the same. Like, Edelgard wants to take over Folan, wants to get rid of the nobles and lords and stuff like that. So it's pretty much the same story. So I think you could go into it like Craig might or whatever without playing the previous game. Is just you do get some weird times where you get a cutscene when you're fighting the enemy or whatever. It's like, oh, I remember that time in the academy. Like, no, I don't remember that time in the academy because we skipped the academy thing. But yeah, so played that. So pretty good. I also played more Solitaire Conspiracy, which I started last time, so I finished that. Is on the Switch, just only an hour and a half, 2 hours long, so it's quite a short sort of game. I obviously played it docked, not handheld, but I can see it working as a handheld game quite well. I don't know if it has touchscreen, but I can see that being handy, moving the cards around and stuff. So played and finished those 2, and then I finally started because I got it as a rental when I sent back the Quarry. Still had days left, so I had Stranger's Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins arrive, and I really should have played that most probably instead of Fire Emblem first, because I, lapsed and renewed for another 21-day subscription for the rental, which is good because I'm mostly going to rent Horizon and play it sort of same time it's day. So started Stranger's Paradise. Yeah, really good. Pleasantly surprised how good it was, because obviously the game, the first trial or beta or whatever it was, 'cause I had 2, it was a little bit rough. And the game's been mean quite a bit, Chaos, where's Chaos? And you're it's a little girl, she's clearly not Chaos, Jack. and he's shouting at her like "You chaos" and stuff like that. It's been means, and some of the music is like weird because like you have it's like fantasy like land and like elves and stuff. You got a mobile phone, and you got your headphones in listening to music.
Just
So just
standard
weird
Final
stuff.
Fantasy at this point, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but it kind of explains it into the story because it's a prequel, but not canon prequel. But even though it does make total sense for the first Final Fantasy.
It does until you play the first Final Fantasy, which has next to no story.
Yeah, but well, the story that if you read the manual back on the NES, I guess that sort of story, like the Warriors of Light, Garland, Chaos, Princess Sarah, they're all here in this. Really good. A lot of comparisons to the Souls games again when it came out. Because obviously Koei Tecmo and stuff like that. I can see some of the comparisons with the combat and that, and like you don't get bonfires, you get like these cubes, and when you go to a cube, the enemies respawn. It's where you do like level up your job classes and stuff. You can alter your gear, your levels done tied to your gear. Instead of like leveling your character up, you get better gear. So like I think I finished the game when I finished like my gear was like a level 145 or something. So like doing the first mission again on Chaos, or tried to do it on Chaos, which is the hardest difficult. You had to have like a level 135 gear. It works a bit like Destiny or Diablo in that sort of sense, where you levels with your gear, but you have job classes. I think, but I would compare it more to like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, where that has obviously the Souls elements. Like you have like the things on the like the prayer things, and the enemies like respawn and stuff like that, and you upgrade your things that. But the combat I find, especially with all the different job classes and stuff like that, much more fluid, and you can go in like against the goblin and just like be more quick hack and slashy, and you have your teammates with you. You have two with you at all times out of the five. You play as Jack, and you have two others out of the thing. So I think if you like Jedi Fallen Order, you most probably will like this, even if you're not a huge fan of the Souls games. But it's just obviously the story and everything is a bit Japanese and silly and stuff like that. Very much enjoyed that. I sent that back today, so should get a Horizon, I presume, Thursday or Friday turn up. So yeah, played 3 games, finished 3 games, pretty much.
Very good, Pengy. Very good.
Yeah. And then I got quite a few pickups.
Are they all games, actual games? I don't want any vinyls today. I don't want any controllers. Yeah. I don't want any.
Oh, there is a controller.
I don't want books.
There's the Monster Hunter.
Okay, well that would allow. I don't really want Amiibo because that's.
I haven't got the Amiibo. I haven't moved the Amiibo.
You got to do these rules with Chris sometimes when he comes in, because he'll come in with an art book or a vinyl when you like this. We don't care, Chris.
This video game, right? So I've got. I don't know why, but I went to Tiverton and went through into a few charity shops, and I got I got a few PS2 games here. So I have Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness.
Why?
It was £1, in a charity shop. So weirdly, Dave, you'll love this. I bought this the day it came out originally.
Why am I not surprised?
Bought this on launch, and then that same day, me and my mate went and saw the Hulk film, the first Hulk film. So that was
showing your age, Chris Pengay.
That was a day of bad choices, bad video game, and a bad.
Yeah. So Craig, to context there, he's bought a game he knows is awful.
Yeah, he basically killed the Tomb Raider franchise until I get to something else.
So basically, he's bought a game for £1, which will end up selling for £1 at some point.
I'd be lucky to get £1 for.
Because that sort of like killed, and then everyone forgets there was like a mini reboot, and I've got Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider Anniversary also on the PS2. They were $1.99 each. So the only one that's missing out of these 3 is Tomb Raider Underworld. They actually surprisingly look quite good as well, but they did get 360 releases, and they are 480i like compatible on the PS2 sort of thing. So they look pretty good. I reckon with a quick glance, you would go, "Oh, that's a 360 game," even though so for that. And then I got Crash of the Titans, a Crash Bandicoot game.
Terrible game. Also has way better ports than the PS2 version.
Which is also £1. Then we've got Actually, this one I got in CEX was Gran Turismo 4. So I paid £4 for that. So that's a little bit more expensive, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so got that. And then the last one, also in charity shop, which you might have seen, is Project Zero, which obviously is a survival horror game, which was £1.99, and it's like a 30 quid game on eBay and stuff. So that, and obviously I picked up all the other ones in the charity shop at the same time. So little PS2 stack there. Then
That's just the first stack, Dave. That's
I know.
you thought that was it. That's the
Yeah.
warm up.
Yeah, so last podcast I bought Sonic Riders, which was the 119th GameCube game. So I now have the 120th GameCube game in Killer 7.
I love that I own a GameCube game, you don't as well. You pointed out in the chat the other day, which amused me to no end.
Yeah.
Is
So
that a good GameCube game, or is it?
It is a good GameCube game, but it's also one of GameCube tax, because you can buy it on the PS2 much cheaper than what I paid for this. But, I wanted
How
to own
much
the
did you pay for it, Chris?
game. 35 quid.
Christ.
Yeah. So where on PS2 it's about a tenner, but I wanted it on the GameCube, which it was originally came to GameCube
Because you're
first.
more likely to play it on the GameCube than you're on the PlayStation 2. I'm assuming that's why you've paid the extra money, yeah?
Yeah. Plus it goes into now as GameCube game 120th.
You're lying to the audience, Chris. You're lying. I'm not accepting it.
It was,
I mean,
original.
A likelihood of
Capcom
zero
5.
works across all things, doesn't it, Craig?
Yeah. So yeah. So got that for the GameCube game. But sticking on Suda51, I picked up in game for $12.98, so it's a weird price. No More Heroes 3 on Nintendo Switch. So got that.
It's the most likely to get played, but still not massively likely.
Yeah. So it goes
It starts coming to everything soon, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's $12.98 on Switch, where it's 50 quid. It's going to be 50 quid on PlayStation and
Yeah,
Xbox.
imagine wasting
unless it
money.
goes to
Imagine
Game
wasting
Pass.
50 quid on games.
I mean, yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, why would you spend more money buying it on a different console? You're right, Chris. Dave, that makes no sense at all, does it? Yeah.
And then
Back to Chris.
Yeah, back to Chris. I might put these on a second. I don't know if they'll go over here, because Tekken Hybrid, which I'm now going to take off my 3D glasses, because I've actually used the 3D for the first time on my TV, surprisingly, with Tekken Hybrid on the
You've
PS3.
watched some 3D porn on that, Chris. That's just you're lying to the audience again.
Nope, never used the 3D on this TV.
I believe he
once
got
until
one
now.
trophy in this, so that is going to be on his account forever. The one time he plays it.
That's breaking down his percentage, Dave. That's
I know.
that's
I
money for you.
literally giggled to myself when I saw it. I was like, "Excellent, fall
Yeah,
into my
so
trap."
So Tekken Hybrid has Tekken Tag Tournament, as in the PS2 launch game, HD remaster, and that's the only way to get that HD remaster is on this.
I remember I played that as a kid.
Tekken.
Was that the one with the bowling? Is that the bowling?
Yeah,
on
it has bowling. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember the bowling.
Confirmed.
confirm. Then it's got Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Prologue, which is like a demo, but it's got trophies and stuff, which Dave has mentioned, and you got 4 characters. That is playable in 3D, and so I got my 3D glasses out of the packaging, because like I said, I've never used the 3D on my TV, and the 3D's actually surprisingly quite good on this. The fighters do look like they're in the forefront, and the crowd looks
How
like
many
in the
matches
background.
did you play, Grace?
I did arcade mode twice. I did it with Alicia and Li Xiaolu, and then Jin and Kazua together. So
You going to come back and get
So,
the rest of
10?
those trophies?
no, probably not.
Excellent. That's
So
what I wanted to hear. That's the answer I wanted, so it's no problem.
and then it's got the prologue on 2, which has got the 4 characters, got some trophies. It's got the Tekken Tag 2 remastered. Then it's also got Tekken Blood Vengeance, which was the 3D animated movie, the Resident Evil Degenerations and stuff like that, which is also in 3D. So it's the Tekken movie in 3D.
How much did this
So
cost?
I watched. So I watched like the first 10 minutes of that in my 3D glasses.
Wait, you only watched the first 10 minutes?
Of a film,
Yeah,
you couldn't even bother to sit there and not interact with it.
it's a 92-minute film. I wasn't,
That's
I wouldn't
very short for a
I wouldn't want
film.
to
Yeah,
waste your time, Chris. Imagine wasting
I
time.
watched this sometime, but I watched the first bit where it was on like a on the highway. guess I should say. And there's a crash and like it does look like the fires in the
Don't
background.
spoil it for us, mate. We want to watch this at some point.
And Nina Williams is like at the forefront and
What,
stuff.
what are you scoring out of 10 the first 10 minutes of this film?
Well, all there was the crash and some fire.
Probably better than all the 360 games, I reckon.
Yeah, but the 3D was pretty good, but like animated stuff always been like decent in.
To the easy way out
3D.
by animating it, if anything.
Yeah, so you can definitely see
And
like
how much
cool
did this
3D.
collection cost you, Chris?
This collection cost me £28.
Oh, that's a bit
Price.
much, isn't it? For 10 minutes?
Yeah, so I played Tekken 9 for more than 10 minutes.
So
20 minutes.
I haven't done the count, so we're definitely over 90 quid for this week then, Chris, in coasters.
I did trade in some figures for this, so I actually only had to pay
Oh, is it?
£3
That's alright.
cash.
Did you buy those figures originally?
Yeah.
Right, okay, cool. So is that it? Is that everything you bought?
Yes.
Brilliant. Well, Chris, I'd hate to stop you talking about Blood Vengeance, but we need to talk about things that we're excited for. You got a little bit of time left on the show, so I tasked the boys with thinking of 3 games each that they're excited about for the rest of the year. Because obviously we're in July, sort of halfway, maybe a little bit beyond halfway at this point, really. But it's been a goodish year. We're not going to review the half year so far. That can be another show. But let's talk about games we're excited to get for the end of the year. So I'm going to hand you over, first of all, to the Lankster. And he's going to tell me about a Game Pass game he's excited for, Craig.
I'm going to cheat straight away, Dave.
No.
I'm cheating.
Is it?
You can't stop me.
Go on, then. Do it.
I'm going for some DLC
Yeah.
that could be good enough to be a standalone experience. I remember that. Default's a DLC. Obviously, the DLC is not part of Game Pass, but we all got the game through Game Pass and then did the smart thing and paid the £35 to get the ultimate super duper amazing, fantastic version. So we have everything that ever exists ever for this game. And all 600 cars, if you're me. I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously, it's fairly soon as well. It's
23rd?
19th, yes. It's the same day as
Why
Stray,
did I
isn't
think
it?
it was the 23rd? Fuck knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you got
19th.
Stray, As Dusk Falls, and that coming all out
Week
the same
tomorrow.
day. Also, for me, I didn't play the DLC because the Hot Wheels was on Horizon 3, I believe, which I didn't play any of the DLC for that game.
Fantastic game. Fantastic DLC.
Yeah, so for me, this is all new. It looks really good. Looks like just like great silly fun. So yeah, I'm excited to be back in that game again. Not that I ever left. I'm like the guy at the pie that just won't leave.
You can check out any time you like, Craig, but you can never leave.
Exactly.
Lovely. That's a good choice.
That's
I
my
can't believe
number
you've gone for a Pengy choice and DLC'd it straight away.
one. So it could be a standalone experience.
What's
though,
next?
Dave.
A port? Anyway, let's go to me before we get to Chris. So I'm going to jump ahead of Chris as the only true PlayStation fan on this podcast, and I'm going to say God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's got a date
It's
now.
not in my top 3.
It's got a game.
Wouldn't even.
It's got a date. I'm excited for it. The more footage I see, it looks just good. I mean, the original game was just a fantastic game. I said I was intending to play it a bit more, obviously before the save shenanigans. I still might, but it'll probably slip down the cracks. Now there's a lot of big open world PlayStation games for me to play before then in my backlog. But really excited for God of War Ragnarok. Really excited there'll definitely be a state of play soon, like before it comes out. So looking forward to seeing some more stuff, seeing where the story goes, seeing how the combat's evolved. Just being in that world again for another 40 hours is going to be hella exciting. And it does tie in roughly for when I'm allowed to buy games again. I think it's about 2 weeks before, so that'll be a nervous wait for me to make sure there's a copy on the 27th of November when I can buy it. But really excited for God of War Ragnarok now that I'm a hashtag PlayStation fanboy. So
it's another big game though as well that's like just been announced, had its date announced just on Twitter basically, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's so strange at the minute with games. PlayStation in particular is on a weird Twitter trend. They did that indie thing recently where they just announced 7 indie games on Twitter. But yeah, I think it was more fan pressure. I think people were getting abused because obviously Alana Piss is involved in it, so people like to abuse her for many reasons. That was probably why. But yeah, God of War looks good. Pengy?
What is the betting it pulls The Last of Us and you play as Atreus the whole game?
I mean, we'll do a predictions episode, like every other outlet at some point. I mean, I'm convinced that Kratos will either die at some point and you play as someone else, or he'll be separated from you and you'll play as someone else. I just think they want to end him in this one. Like they've been talking, this is the end of the Norse thing. Like I could see at least him being tremendously wounded by the end, but we'll see. Might have a happy ending, who knows. Penguin, tell me a game that you're excited for.
Right, so I've got it coming out the 18th of October. It is on everything, but it's going to be in a Game Pass, and that's a Plague Tale Requiem. The first game me and Craig both played, and the first one was really good. Going back to like the talk at the start with the AA games, it's like one of those things. It sort of came out of nowhere, the first one, and like I think we were both pleasantly surprised how good it was. And this has had like a really decent build. Like it, when I saw it at like the Tribeca Film Festival thing when they showed it and like the games, it looked really good there. And then they had their own little showcase of the game. It looks like. I think it might go too supernatural. It's going with that with like Hugo and his powers and stuff. Maybe that might be a little bit off-putting. See how
the
far it goes.
The first one gets more and more supernatural as it goes, doesn't it? By the end of the first one, it really is out there.
I've been considering a play because it's on it's a PS Plus game that I have on PS5, and I have been considering.
I think you'd like it.
It's more very doable. Platinum as well, which is
I've got the completion on Xbox. The first one plays, it's weird, it looks like a stealth game, but I think it plays more like a kind of like a puzzle game. It's really and the setting is awesome as well.
Killing lots of French people, that's always going to cheer me up. So
exactly.
It might but cool. It's a good pick from Pengy. Not what I was expecting. I was expecting Soul Hackers 2 and a port of Nier.
There's still hope, Dave. It's only his first one.
Xenoblade Chronicles will be on here and I'll just laugh at Chris for that. But
I thought about that because it comes out like this month, so I'm
so excited for your Xenoblade Chronicles review, Chris. So excited. But yeah, good choice, Pinky, good choice. Craigo, game number 2 for you, my son.
I'll go for kind of the big kind of darling game from the whole summer game mess fest Keighley shenanigans, and that's the Callisto Protocol. Game that I wasn't massively like interested in before, but the showings that it had, I know it was at every show ever, and it will probably continue to be at every show ever until it releases. I thought it looked really good, even for someone like me who is clearly, and it's made by the old Dead Space guys. It's clearly very similar. I've never played those games, but definitely more into like survival horror now than I was back then. That's one that I'm definitely excited for, and it's right at the very tail end of the year. It's December. It's one of the only like big games I think announced for December.
I think it's at the biggest risk of a delay. I think it's got.
I feel they want to come.
They
want
to avoid Dead Space. Yeah, but I think it's,
and RE4.
And RE4. I mean, there couldn't be a game I'm less interested in, obviously, because I'm a big scaredy cat. But it does look like it looks good. But I think that's one of those weird games. If it does come out and is as good as it looks, it could be like a low key, like hipster game of the year contender. Like they always have one. They're like, you know what I mean? Like, there's all the big games, and there'll be this one game.
It was Deathloop last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But I think it'll do better than The Last of Us Part 1 remaster. Everyone seems to hate that at the moment, so it'd be cheaper as well, Chris. That's the funny thing. I love it. Okay, well, that's a scary game. We're going to go from a scary game to the game of the year. A game that we're all going to have, we're all going to play, and that is Football Manager 23. That is my my number 2 on my list. I'm not ashamed to say
Where are you going to play that? I presume you can play it on Mac.
I will play it on Steam on Mac.
You're going to play? Okay.
Because as much as I love achievements and playing it for free on Windows, the Windows version is never quite as stable and it's not as moddable. And I've been playing this game for too long to not have badges load properly, to not have like the editor and stuff for like new leaks. So I'll be honest with you, I get a discount every year because I buy it on Steam every year. I don't mind. I don't mind giving those devs 25 quid every single year because they give me hundreds of hours of sexy times. Obviously, the big one for us this year is our hometown club is officially licensed for the very first time ever in a video game. So it's very exciting that we're going to get to play as our hometown team. And then we could finish bottom and get relegated in real life and it'll never happen again. But it's one of those, I'm almost tempted because I know they do a sustainable box version every year, which if it comes with a disc, I couldn't even use the disc because there's no disc drive on anything I own anymore. But
it has a disc.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to use it, but I might even just buy it and put it on a shelf. Like it's one of those
I've just checked. I don't have a disc drive on my laptop.
No, I don't. I don't have a disc drive in this either, but I might buy it. I might buy a second copy anyway, just to put on the shelf sealed. Like that's how much I'm excited. Like if Taunton Town do any promotion with it, because I remember years ago there used to be like the FIFA editions that would have like if you lived in so when I lived in Newport, for example, you could get a sleeve that had like Newport County's badge on it when they got promoted to Football League. So if they were to do anything like that, I would jump on it. But yeah, I'm so excited to play as Taunton Town. Like the girl that I'm seeing is so fed up of me talking about it, and she likes football, and I'm like, I can't. I mean, I've warned her. I was like, November rolls around, mate. I'm playing Football Manager every night for a good 2 or 3 weeks with the boys. We're definitely gonna have a competition. There's definitely gonna be a video where we play our teams against each other after like 4 seasons, and see the kind of shenanigans, and see how Craig's brought Rocky Neal back, and Chris has just bought the Celtic team. Like it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great stuff. But yeah,
I'm unsure where I'm going to play it because obviously it'll be on Game Pass, and obviously like I've got, let's say, like 50 of the 100 achievements of 2022s on Xbox and achievements, and that's all good. And I actually just linked my Steam achievements to like the true achievements, but for Steam, and it obviously gives the times, and I think nearly all the Football Managers are over 100 hours. One of them's over 200. I think one's over 300 hours.
Over 700 hours.
Yeah, one of them's over 300 hours, which I think might
get on my level.
Yeah,
one might mean 2020 one
numbers,
but obviously
rookie numbers.
If I get it on Steam, I can play it on that Steam Deck. See, so I can play it on the Steam Deck, and I can play.
It's a very good reason. The Steam Deck's cheeky because you can have the dock and play it properly with a mouse and keyboard. Then you can lie in bed and do your transfers. You know what I mean? It's a selling point, Craigo, if I'm honest.
Yeah. That's 1,000 hours right there, gone, dude.
Literally.
Yeah. Plus, I just wanted to think how I'm going to get Steam Deck into this episode.
Well, I will not rest until Taunton Town win the Champions League. So I don't know how long that's going to take me, but it's going to happen. But yeah, Chris, your second game.
Yeah, so we are going to moving from Xbox and Game Pass. We are going to Nintendo now, and there can only be one game because we all want to be the very best, the best there ever was, and that was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, this is out 18th of November. How can you not be excited for new Pokemon? Where it looks like it's got future and past elements with the 2 professors and stuff. And obviously it'd be like a big-ish RPG, and that won't be like as like a difficult or like that as like a Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Be much more friendly than that, but yeah, can always be excited for Pokemon.
I couldn't be less excited. By the way, like this is the least excited I've been for Pokemon in some time. I think I'm just a bit over. Me and Chris had this brief discussion this morning, but my life and living situation has affected my Nintendo love and time quite a lot. I don't want to go into it more than that, but it's I just don't find myself having the urge to play the Switch in any way. And Pokemon, like even Arceus, I started not that long ago, and I think I've played like 2 hours, and I enjoyed it. I just couldn't bring myself to go back to it, and I think I'm completely burnt out with certain Nintendo games that come out every year. Pokemon is one of them.
Yeah, well, I think also what helps with Pokemon, like when we had the last trailer, like had someone that used to same work with us text me and like, have you seen the Pokemon trailer? And then a couple of others in work like, are you seeing? Oh, you look at the new.
It's a community game, isn't it? Like
you see the new you see the new electric mouse Pokemon. It's like, yeah, I've seen the. I was like, oh, which legendary looks coolest? And I was like, oh, I like the big red dragon dude.
Not the one that looks like a dick.
No, this says motorbike. Everyone thinks he looks like the motorbike, the other one.
But yeah, I think Pokemon is the most community game as well. Like you're right, like especially on like a platform like this. So say for example, like Craig's played a Pokemon game for the first time this year. and I think he
Yeah.
enjoyed it. But like if he were to get one copy and you were to get another copy, then he'll get that first experience of trading and all that kind of stuff, which is the point of Pokemon, right? But I don't have that situation really immediately anymore, so it's just kind of like, if I'm not playing a lot of games anyway, I think games like Pokemon are like the first ones that kind of fall to the wayside. Like I'm not even that. I don't know if you're going to mention it later. I don't think Craig won't. But like I'm not that excited for Splatoon 3 as well, which is a game I would normally do.
I've already got it I got the digital version, which I did with Mario Strikers.
Yeah,
so I didn't want to put on here because I've like already got it coming, and it's like out in September. So it's not that is kind of soon, and we still don't know much about the single player. So
and there's lots of games, right? It's just whether you say that's just my example. Like right now, like I'm not very excited. How about you, Craig? Is Pokemon, now that you've played one of them, is it tempting to play this one?
Maybe. I mean, I do feel like they're kind of like oversaturating it a bit. The fact they had like that remake at the end of last, you basically had like 3 Pokemon games in like 12 months.
They're gonna have They're gonna have 3 Pokemon games in 18-month spell.
And it's actually 5.
It seems like a lot.
There's 2 copies of 2 of them.
Yeah. I mean, I know why they do it because they sell like fucking hotcakes, don't they? They're going to make a shit ton of money regardless. But I personally, I do. One of my things playing Arceus, I just feel like instead of making those 3, they could just make one that was like amazing. They could have just focused on like one thing. Really, like Arceus to me, like I could see the improvements they're going for and all of that, but I just felt like it just wasn't quite as ambitious as I maybe wanted it to be. Again, I suspect that a lot of that is because they're grinding out games left, right, and center. I don't know if it was the first one and if it's the only one coming out in the span, then I'd probably be more excited. But I might end up picking it up because, like I said, there's quite a lot of guys in work who are completely obsessed with Pokemon.
Yeah, and I guess for you as well, like because of Game Pass, a lot of the games you're gonna get via Game Pass. So you might not be buying many games. Like you might be like, especially like the jobs that you guys have as well. You'll get the double discount, or you'll get the I've been in this awful environment for 90 hours this week because it's Christmas. I want to treat myself. You know what I mean? Like sometimes that is a thing, especially for you, Craig, because you see it all come in for the nature of your job, which is the problem I had when I used to have your job. I'd see stuff come in and go, I didn't really fancy it, but now it's right in front of me.
Yeah,
you know what?
And someone's been telling me all a day about their Pokemon team and how they're on the 3rd gym.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, that's also the other thing. Obviously, I'm in a few like Nintendo, obviously the forum and a few Nintendo Discords and stuff like that. Where obviously there'll be like a lot of talk about the Pokemon game and stuff like that. Like you said, it's a sort of community game.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a good pick from Pinky. Some good picks so far from everyone. Craigie, your 3rd and final game that you're excited for.
I'm going to go for one a bit left field, a bit out there. It's the Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed remake. Mainly because I played the first one fairly close to when it came out, having not ever played any of the Destroy All Humans games. Just it looked like a lot of silly fun. I think I watched one of the Digital Foundry videos about where it's comparing the remake to the original, and it looks like really good. Put a lot of care into it. I really enjoyed it. It's got that like thing where it feels like an old game and like the way it's set up and the way its mission structure is, but it kind of removes like the bad things of like old games that we don't remember, but we probably remember when we
camera.
But we remember when we start playing them, and it kind of takes all that away, and it just felt really fun. It's got set in like Cold War America, so it's really funny. It's really is taking the piss out of all the propaganda that was going on back then. The trailer that I've seen looked like it's like more goodness, more Destroy All Humans goodness, which I'm definitely all in for.
Yeah, I think THQ are so underrated as well. By the way, they make.
I saw the other day like a trailer for like some I'm not sure it's coming like a bonus game that's coming with this, or like it's his own side game or something, or it's like some weird multiplayer game and it's like a spy woman or something in the trailer, and it's like I wasn't really sure what it was. If it's like
did the second game not have local multiplayer? It might have done.
I don't know, but it had like Destroy All Humans subtitle or something. I was like, is that free with 2 or is it a new thing? I wasn't really sure what it was, but
Yeah,
so there might be a bonus multiplayer game or something with that
as long as it doesn't have any achievements, all right, Craig. But yeah, I mean, I think THQ are kind of the kings, the unspoken kings right now of the extra game you buy. Because I mean, there's lots of controversy today about Ubisoft, and the Ubisoft keep putting their feet in mud at the moment, and people are kind of ignoring them, and they're not really doing anything. But there's that space for these sort of weird developers that a lot of them are, like Chris said before, the Embracer Group, stuff like Destroy All Humans, stuff like Saints Row, that are kind of like coming in and out and just being these kind of AA games like we talked about earlier that are always quite high quality in terms of like they always look and run pretty well, like they're pretty fun short experiences, like stuff like I've been meaning to get to, like Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning, and God knows, bloody Darksiders 2, like all these type of games that they keep re-releasing for like decent prices and stuff. So yeah, I think Destroy Humans 2 will be one of those. It'll be a good game. It's not. Is it going to set the world on fire? No, but it'll probably be one of the most fun games you play. You know what I mean? And they'll do the
like you say, it won't be long.
£70 pre-order they do for all their games that they may make like 10 copies of, and I don't know why.
There is like ridiculous special edition of it I've seen.
And I'm not sure if it's available on any of the services that it should be available on Xbox, but if it is on Game Pass, the SpongeBob game is so good, the one that got remade. So if it's on that, because I know it's on PlayStation's Plus.
I don't think it is.
But no, I don't think it is. I know Destroy All Humans, the first one, is now.
Yeah, and I know they put like I know like the Darksiders games have been on there, and Desperados has been on there. But I say if that one comes up on there as ever on a sale for like anywhere close to a tenner, you'd love it, Craig. Like it's so good, it's such a high quality game. And THQ in general, like if I had more money, I know they're doing a PS5 and Series X version of Biomutant, which is a game I know me and Craig were both really excited for, and that game keeps dropping in price as well. So up the THQ. Right, for my final game, I'm going to upset Chris now.
Yeah.
My final game, because I've already done the big AAA game, the sports game. So let's finish this off the only way that I know how. And the third game I'm most excited for, a game I'm probably going to pre-order if I'm able to, if it comes out around that time, or if I just break and play Resident Evil, and that's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, because I think that game looks incredibly fun. Like the first Modern Warfare was so good, so good. Probably the best single in multiplayer that they've done for a decade. I'll come out and say it.
It's the best single player campaign they've ever done. Definitely.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the multiplayer. Really, when I mean you played it a bit, Craig, and I mean Pete played it quite a bit as well. So for a whole package, and this looks just like a sequel. Just looks like a sequel to it. It looks like it's going to be a fun 5-hour campaign. I know that Cold War had a pretty good campaign, and it's just one of those games that's never been cheap enough for me to pick up. I know Vanguard wasn't great, but I think people were expecting. I think it's not the same team, so have a bit of faith. But yeah, Modern Warfare 2, I like the trailers I've seen and the footage I've seen look genuinely good. And I haven't played that kind of shooter probably since Modern Warfare 1. So it's one of those things. I love Call of Duty. I know it's not cool to like Call of Duty, but they keep making them. I'll keep buying them every 3 or 4 years. So, and it's come around now. It's about 3 years since the last one I bought, so it is time to get my Call of Duty.
They did a gameplay like trailer for it the other day as well, where it was set on a ship, and it was in a storm, and it was like showing the storage containers on the ship were like going backwards and forwards with how the ship was moving in the storm, and how that obviously affects like cover and stuff like that. Really cool. Yeah,
and I like that they're kind of redoing some of the levels from the original Modern Warfare 2, because I've replayed that game recently on PlayStation, the remaster. And it's got like the level where you storm the oil facility. That they've shown that in the trailer, but it looks obviously a little bit different, and it's obviously different context for all these kind of things. But like it's Call of Duty. It's one of those games that it's kind of like the popcorn game. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't really buy FIFA anymore. I don't really buy those type of games, but I'm quite happy every 3 years to buy Call of Duty, have a great time, either trade it in or play the multiplayer for a few months, especially around Christmas, right? Because that's usually have the most amount of time. You have your little break, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, Call of Duty.
Nice. I believe digitally, Vanguard was the last one. I haven't played it, but yeah.
I've never seen if I ever saw it for 20, I would give it a go, but I don't think it's ever going to be 20.
When it eventually makes its way to Game Pass and all the deals are done and all
for you guys that play on Xbox as well, like it makes sense to not pre-order or play this, really, if I'm honest, unless you're like desperate. But for me, as the hardcore pony,
when is it? It's actually like in
it's the
October,
end of October,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it probably won't be a pre-order for me. It'll probably be a double discount or like, again, the day that I'm allowed to buy
seems weird.
games.
It's not in November, and it's like, I don't know. Just, I was like, oh, I'm too busy playing Pokemon in November, but it's out in October, isn't it? Call of Duty.
So Pengi, take us home.
Well, I think a bit of a Craig here as well, because he had destroyed.
It's going to be a JRPG.
It is a JRPG.
Because Craig loves JRPGs.
He does. Where the connection of like destroy humans is, obviously that is a remaster or a remake. Well, the last one on here is also a remaster / remake. And that is obviously Crisis Core Final Fantasy.
It's not coming
Reunion.
out this year. That's why I didn't say it.
It's definitely not coming out this year.
I believe.
I'd almost believe if I had money.
I mean, December. Winter is December 21st, Bengi. So when's it coming out? December 23rd? Like, it ain't happening
until
man.
March. Like all the pre-orders I've seen on all the websites list it as March.
Yeah.
So, I want to believe with you, Chris, because if I can have my Christmas Eve playing Crisis Core and going for that platinum, then I'm there. I'm with you. But I just don't think it's going to come out. That's probably like that game is probably my most anticipated game at the moment, which is weird. But because I just love that game. I'm just so excited to replay it. But yeah, that's not coming.
I do feel for Square as well, because they would probably put a lot of deliberation and were very careful with, putting this winter and next winter for the other one. And everyone on every podcast on Twitter is like, oh yeah, it's coming this year. And it's like, it's not really what they said though, is it, guys? We're just changing, we're just completely ignoring them.
I'd love it to come out in December. The problem that makes me think it's not going to is it's on quite a lot of platforms.
It's on L.
Yeah, so if it was on like just PlayStation, then I'd be like, yeah, it'll come out this year. Because it's not, like they've shown footage, like the work's done, but it's like you have to port that for everything, test it on everything, do all the languages, like test all the patches, like that's put it all in production, like that's gonna be tight. I mean, I'll be the first to hold my hands up and say hell yeah if it came out, but I don't see it. Unfortunately, they've got a lot of games coming out as well. Square Enix.
Yeah, Square Enix have basically a game a month coming out to the end of the year, so they don't really need it either this year because they have also. Yeah, but then some of it's weird because obviously, like December, their game is Dragon Quest Treasures, which obviously is just on Switch. Like this month is Live Alive, which again is just on Switch. But then you've got Valkyrie Elysium, which is just on PlayStation. So if you're only on PlayStation, then the other Square games aren't really a thing to you. And then if, like I said, if you're just on Nintendo,
isn't there also Star Ocean this year?
Star Ocean, they have Star Ocean as well.
Deerfield Chronicles.
Deerfield. That is the one I nearly put on this list instead of Crisis Core Reunion because it's Square Enix publishing. It's a strategy RPG and stuff like that. And it's like, why aren't you not making Final Fantasy Tactics?
Isn't it coming out like 7 days before Valkyrie Elysium or something stupid like that?
And it's made by Platinum. And it's made by Platinum as well, Deerfield, and obviously Platinum are top tier. So that was one. Again, it's like this weird thing. Like Deerfield is on all the systems. So, well, Valkyrie is just on. I guess if you're on PlayStation, you got the choice for them. But if you're just on Switch or Xbox, Deerfield is the only Square game out of those you go for. So yeah, plenty of Square stuff. I could just fill it at 3 Square Enix games, to be honest. My list.
God.
No Chocobo though. Well, that would be in the Game of the Year list, hopefully. So,
Chocobo Mystery Dungeons on PlayStation Plus. I looked at it the other day. I was like, do I? And I was like, no, I don't.
Chocobo GP is currently worst Game of the Year. It is getting that award.
Obviously, we've only got a few minutes left before I've got to run away. But there's some good honourable mentions we haven't talked about. That almost made my list. Saints Row. Just want to see some more gameplay. It's never a series that's really resonated with me since the first 2. But it looks fun. Again, this is the thing we talked about with the kind of weird AA. We're not going to get any GTA remasters again anytime soon, are we? So, Saints Row looks kind of fun.
It's a game that I hope is really good.
I hope it's an 80. If it's an 80, it's a game that when it inevitably becomes cheaper, because there's no point pre-ordering games that aren't from certain publishers because they all you know it's going to get cheaper. Like Destroy Humans will come out at 35 quid and it'll be 20 quid within 2 months. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing is like, and Saints Row will be the same. Saints Row will be 30 quid before we know it. But yeah, I hope it does well, because I just, those type of games need to keep being made. You know?
Yeah, there's a gap in the market for it at the moment.
Yeah, and I'd say it's THQ and the Embracer Group that are filling it. Like I said, like I'm really excited for the Biomutant PS5 patch. It's a game I almost bought a few times in sales. Now I know it's going to get a PS5 Series X patch. That's a game I would definitely want to play. And the SpongeBob games, the Nickelodeon Smash games, are actually really fun. Like I don't know if you've played that, Pengy, but the Nickelodeon Smash game, the fighting game, is really, really fun. So but yeah, sorry, God, Soul Hackers 2. Surprised that was on Chris's list.
Yeah.
It's they've kind of blown their own shit here, though, haven't they? Because it's coming out not that long before they're porting all the other games to all the other platforms.
Yeah, it comes out the end of August, Soul Hackers 2, where obviously Persona 5 comes out in October, so yeah, we've got that big gap and stuff, and obviously Soul Hackers 2 is new, so I guess if you're on PlayStation, you're not...
Yeah,
Yeah,
go on.
I guess, like, if you're on PlayStation, like, okay, there is going to be the Persona 5 PS5 version, but if you've already played that, I guess Soul Hackers 2 is new and shiny. But then on Xbox, obviously Persona 5 being in Game Pass, and on Switch, Persona 5 on the go are pretty big deals. But then Soul Hackers 2 weirdly isn't on Switch, which to me makes no sense whatsoever. Thing is not, it's like, see how well, the Switch, in Japan, and you've got this big JRPG like Atlas, and you've not got it on the system. It's really
it's
weird.
The porting process, man. It's just the engine they use. They just probably don't want to do it. Like I know, like it probably took a lot for them to do Royal for Switch, considering like the other two won't be hard. The other two like will run on toasters at this point. But yeah. There's tons of games. I don't think it's quite as stacked as previous years.
No.
But that's, I think, we haven't got our usual 15 Ubisoft games. We've got obviously Sparks of Hope, and we've got Skull and Bones from Ubisoft.
And Avatar as well, I think.
Oh god, Avatar! And I think we'll get at least one free to play game from them at their event. It'll probably be the Division 1, I would imagine. But
yeah, they are just crashing and burning at this point.
They've
someone's going to buy them very soon.
So they're pissing money.
They are. This
is like a whole episode I want to do at some point about these other publishers, but like Ubisoft are pissing money. Like I saw an analyst today say like you're going to see the direction of this company very clearly at this forward, because they're just not making money. Like people are not buying their games anymore. They're just not. Like that's why they've got all these deals and they're on air. Like that's why you can get Ubisoft Plus on Stadia and Luna, because Amazon and Google are paying for it. Like they need the money. So it's like, I don't know. Like I said, their only good stuff is their weird, like I said, the Nintendo games they've been doing. Like that, I could see Nintendo buying that studio. Like if Ubisoft went under, like I could see Nintendo be like, oh, Ubisoft Paris or whatever it is, like yeah, we'll buy them.
Milan, they are.
There you go. Like Ubisoft Milan, will buy them, make them Nintendo Milan. I could see that happening, because it's like Miyamoto's personally been there a few times. The company's drowning, but they keep putting this series out with Mario in it that does really well. So.
Maybe the Embracer will come out of nowhere and just
when the Embracer console comes out, Embracer and Tencent join forces to destroy the world. But but that's our games that we're excited for. There's plenty to come out, and I'm sure we'll talk about them more.
Yeah, because there's like Bayonetta 3, that's still 2022, but it's not date. Like my list for the rest of the year is pretty simple. It's Live Alive, Xenoblade, Soul Hackers, Splatoon. Other Nintendo stuff, the Square Enix game.
Just the weeb in you. We all thought Craig was the biggest weeb.
Nintendo and Square Enix. That's all you need.
Obviously, Nier Automata will get on Switch.
Yeah.
That. But yeah, see, I still can't officially buy games till November, so mine will be whatever's on PlayStation Plus, maybe Game Pass, and then the backlog. So, I mean, Horizon Forbidden West has to go a long way to not win my game of the year at the minute, because obviously, like, I haven't really got anything else from this year. It's Ape Escape at the moment.
You say that, but you get to November and you'll be like, my game of the year, that's just
I don't know if I can beat
like a Football Manager.
I know what you're like, Pengy, but I don't know if I can beat more than one game in a calendar month.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, anyway, that's the end of the show. If you like the show, drop a like, drop a subscribe. Tell us what you're excited for in the comments, and Chris will tell you why you're wrong. And we will see you next week.
Bye.